So you remember the story. Elon Musk hired this cadre of young geniuses. We're talking about guys that are an absolute whiz on the computer, like Elon Musk, genius. And they went in and they doged the administrative state. They exposed corruption at USAID, at Department of Justice. And the left hated this. They hated this so much that they tried to dox the individuals who were on Elon Musk's team. And they tried to do everything that they possibly could to destroy the Doge mission. Well, they invented this controversy because one of the young geniuses on Elon Musk's Doge team was a young man named Edward Coristine. Edward Coristine was the youngest on the team. I mean, if you look at a picture of him, he looks extremely young. But it was revealed in a whole bunch of drama that Edward Coristine, 19 years old, had the online username Mr. Big Balls. Oh, the shock. Oh, the horror. Because, you know, that's raunchy. That's inappropriate. But, like, didn't a Democrat congressman sleep with a Chinese spy? Oh, yeah, they didn't care about that, did they? No, not when Swalwell did it. They only care about an online username of a 19-year-old boy. Okay. So he gained a little bit of a following on X after this because there were a lot of conservatives that came to his defense. And he was, to his credit, he refused to be canceled. He said, he posted on X in the wake of this controversy and he goes, I'm not effing leaving. Like, you're not going to bully me out of doing my job here just because you don't like me and because you're trying to act like I was inappropriate. Okay. So fast forward to today, Edward Coristine, you can show the picture, Spencer, on the screen. I will warn people, this is a little, it has some blood in this picture. This guy's he's bloodied because he was beaten up. Edward Coristine is a hero. There was a woman in Washington, D.C. who was the victim of a violent carjacking, which, by the way, is extremely common these days in Washington, D.C. At least 8 different thugs, and these are being described as like teenage thugs or young thugs, these gangbangers, accosted this woman as she was trying to access her car. Edward Coristine sees this happening and goes to her defense. 8 against 1. He defends this woman so that she's not, I mean, God knows what would have happened to her. I shudder to even think about it. And he fights these guys so that this woman survives. And this is the result. He was brutally beaten and bloodied. He was taken to the hospital. He suffered a concussion because he saw something bad happening to someone and he came to her defense. And I mean, this guy is a hero. First of all, you have to wonder how many men in this day and age actually would intervene if they saw a woman being accosted, but accosted by 8, a gang of 8. And he goes in knowing, like, he knows he could get killed. He knows he could get hurt. He knows that this, at the very least, this is going to happen to him, and he does it anyway. Like, if this is the young generation, if this is Gen Z, good gracious, does that give me hope? I don't want to sound like an old person here, but good gracious, does that give me hope for our country? And perhaps this is his motivation. I went and I looked at his X account after I read this story because I thought, I mean, I am so impressed by this behavior. This is not a story you hear, this like knight in shining armor type of story. You don't hear about this very often anymore. Even though women are still being victimized, you don't hear about these men that are coming in to, fight for women's honor. And, you see this guy willing to sacrifice himself for a stranger, a woman that he saw that was in trouble. And it's just so impressive. He posted this back in February. And I find this to be fascinating. Edward Coristine says, I am infinitely proud of my grandfather who defected from the KGB and spied for the Americans because he believed in the American principles of freedom and liberty. He was more brave and courageous than I can imagine. I hope to make him proud. He said he knew how much it could cost. He knew everyone back home wouldn't support him, yet he proceeded to do what he thought was right anyways and turned against the party. Is this not the most noble one can be? Does that not give you the chills? This might be a 19 or 20-year-old who has an immature username online, right? But this is not a 19-year-old, or he might be 20 years old now, who is lacking substance. This is a 19 or 20-year-old who's motivated in his work Whether that work is doging the administrative state and exposing corruption, fighting off cancellation by the vicious woke mob, or whether it's putting his own life on the line to defend a woman who is in danger, who is being attacked by thugs in DC, which is a dangerous hellhole thanks to Democrat policies that refuse to clean up the crime. And these services that he rendered to our country are not a coincidence. They're motivated by ideology, by properly ordered ideology, by love of country, because he's inspired what his grandfather did, by what his grandfather did, by defecting from the Soviet Union and choosing to become American despite the cost. Bravo, Edward. Bravo. These are the type of stories. This is the kind of behavior that makes America great. We're very proud of you.